Mm. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, good day to you. As depending where you are in the world, it's our nighttime devotion from the devotional Conflict and Courage. The title today, Haven't I Sent You? Judges 6 verse 14. And the Lord looked upon him and said, Go in this thy might. Have not I sent thee? To Gideon came the divine call to deliver his people. He was engaged at the time in threshing wheat. A small quantity of grain had been concealed, and not daring to beat it out on the ordinary threshing floor, he had resorted to a spot near the winepress. For the season of the ripe grapes being still far off, little notice was now taken of the vineyards. As Gideon laboured in secrecy and silence, he sadly pondered upon the condition of Israel and considered how the oppressor's yoke might be broken from off his people. Suddenly, the angel of the Lord appeared and addressed him with the words, Jehovah is with thee, thou mighty man of valor. O my Lord, was his answer, if the Lord be with us, why then is all this befallen us? And where be all his miracles which our fathers told us of, saying, Did not the Lord bring us up out from Egypt? But now the Lord hath forsaken us and delivered us into the hands of the Midianites. The messenger of heaven replied, Go in this thy might, and thou shalt save Israel from the hand of the Midianites. Have not I sent thee? Gideon deeply felt his own insufficiency for the great work before him. The Lord does not always choose for his work men of the greatest talents, but he selects those whom he can best use. Individuals who might do good service for God may for a time be left in obscurity, apparently unnoticed and unemployed by their master. But if they faithfully perform the duties of their humble position, cherishing a willingness to labor and to sacrifice for him, he will in his own time entrust them with greater responsibilities. Before honor is humility. The Lord can use most effectually those who are most sensible of their own unworthiness and inefficiency. He will teach them to exercise the courage of faith. He will make them strong by uniting their weakness to his might, wise by connecting their ignorance with his wisdom. Haven't I sent you? Gideon, as is said, was busy collecting the wheat from the threshing floor. A small quantity of grain had been concealed, and he had to beat it out, but while he was doing all this pondering in silence, why Israel was suffering under the yoke of the Midianites. And then, as is said, the angel of the Lord appeared to him and said, in no other sense of the word, great man of valor. You will deliver Israel of the from the Midianites. And of course, Gideon, sensing his inadequacies, his not being a man of war or a soldier or any such thing, he's saying, but how me? I mean, I'm not a great man of war. I'm not anything that most of these guys are that do go out and fight against and for Israel. And the angel said to him, go in this thy might, and thou shalt save Israel from the hand of the Midianites. Have not I sent thee? Basically saying, listen, I'm telling you to go and do it. Go and do it, because I will make sure you get it done. In essence, you will go through a wilderness situation. You will go through a time of obscurity where you are no one of no thing. You just have to go through the motions, sometimes of just existing, but also keeping your faith. And as it's happened here, I mean, Gideon was just catching the grain from the threshing floor. That was doing farming and things like that. And we hear about many of those that were doing farming. Elisha was doing some farming before he was called by Elijah. David was a shepherd boy. But all of these showed to have great faith. Yes, Gideon did take a while to come to terms with it, where he tested and he said, Father, if this is your will, then do this. Okay, if this is your will, do that. And God proved himself to be true, and it got to the stage where he said, listen, just get on with it and go and do as I tell you to do. Before honor is humility. Be patient. Everything happens in God's time. If it is his will for you to be where you're supposed to be in such a position, it will happen, but probably not how you expect it to. The Lord can use most effectually those who are most sensible. You've got to be sensible, patient, tolerant. When you're put through these situations, you have to exercise patience. You have to exercise tolerance. It is for you to grow, to be more patient, to be more tolerant, because when you are tested, and you will be tested, you will need the tolerance and patience of a big tree in a cyclone that just does that and doesn't bend right over, but just waves around, but stands strong. And this is why we are put through tests. So when we come through, we also can stand strong.